So we are here with Megan Coyne. She is a class of 2018 School of Arts and Sciences graduate. She is our Young Alumni Spotlight, and I believe she's most well known, many of you may know her, as one of the two Rutgers alums who run the New Jersey government social media. So Megan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So what brought you to Rutgers in the first place?
So I guess just growing up in New Jersey, obviously everyone knows Rutgers, but I have two older siblings who both went to Rutgers. So when I was applying to schools, it was kind of like a no-brainer that I would also go there. I applied to like maybe two other schools, but I really wanted to go to Rutgers. I wanted to be a part of a big school. I love New Jersey, so I didn't want to leave, and it all worked out.
And so your two siblings, they both went to Rutgers. When did they graduate?
My sister graduated in 2015. My brother graduated in 2017. And then I have a younger sister who's a senior at Rutgers now.
Okay.
Um, and then I have a younger brother in high school who will hopefully be going there within the next few years.
So you were all there at the same time.
Yeah,
Did you,
I overlapped with my older brother and my younger sister, which was fun.
was there some avoiding in the dining hall? Did you eat, which way did they go?
Yeah, me and my younger sister spent a lot of time together. We actually took a class together, which was fun. It confused our professor because he like couldn't comprehend that we weren't twins, that we were just siblings, but it was fun.
That's awesome. What class?
It was Intro to American Studies. Yeah.
With who?
Professor Isaac? Yeah, Alan Isaac.
I don't think I had him. I heard the name though. Was that one of the more meaningful experiences at Rutgers? Tell me a little bit about like kind of the things you did.
Yeah, so I mean, it was fun to have a class with my sister, but most of my time at Rutgers was spent probably with the Rutgers Democrats. I joined that in the beginning of my freshman year, and then that kind of like changed. Um, it kind of helped me get to this moment. Wasn't really sure what I wanted to do when I went to Rutgers, but I was really interested in politics, so I joined the club. Then I was on the e-board, and like through that, it's how I started meeting all these candidates and elected officials and people who work in politics in New Jersey. And then that's how I got involved with Phil Murphy's campaign. And then I interned on that, and then I just stuck with it. Then I interned when he became governor in the governor's office. And then when I graduated, I got a job. I luckily got a job there. Um, but yeah.
That's awesome. Were you politically active before you joined Rutgers or?
Not really. I mean, I guess I wasn't I like was interested in it in high school, but there wasn't really a way to get involved at my high school. Um, so it was just like a personal thing that I liked to keep up with. And then at Rutgers, it really took off.
That's awesome. I saw you were part of Eagleton. Uh,
Yes.
was that something because of the Democrats Club, or is that a something separate?
Yeah, so when I was a freshman, I took a burn seminar with Ruth Mandel, who was the director of Eagleton. And I really, really admired her. And then my sophomore year, I was her arrestee research assistant. So I was involved in Eagleton like since the beginning of college. So then when there was time to apply junior year for the undergraduate associates program, it seemed kind of like a no-brainer that I would apply, especially since it was obviously something I was interested in. So then I applied, and luckily I was accepted, and then I was a part of that for a year and a half, which was a really interesting experience.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's a program with it's like 25 students. Um, I think all three Rutgers campuses can apply, but I think that my year it was actually just New Brunswick students. Um, and it's really cool each semester. So it's 3 semesters. Each semester is like a different focus. So your fall semester of your senior year, it's just an internship seminar. So everyone has to do an internship over the summer. And then you would just kind of talk about what everyone's internship was. And there's also like a lot of really cool guest speakers, which is one of the best parts of the program is how it connects you to other people throughout New Jersey. And I was really lucky because my like four of my best friends were in the class with me. But yeah, it was a really great experience.
And you worked with Dr. Mandel. She escaped the Holocaust.
Mhm.
and was a legend in politics and political research, both at Rutgers and beyond. What was that like?
It was it was a really rewarding experience. She was just such an inspiring figure, but she really pushed me, especially as her research assistant, to kind of like go further and to go after what I wanted. She really pushed me to get involved in politics because I was a little bit on the fence about it. But she would always encourage me, and she was really great to be around. Um, yeah.
What do you think you took away most from that internship and working with her?
Um, hmm. I guess kind of to just not be afraid to go after what you want. Yeah.
So, in that vein, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. Obviously, you've been
So
profiled by the Times, but give us a little bit of an idea.
so I work for Governor Phil Murphy. I am on his communications team as a digital assistant. So his communications team is kind of split into three. So there's speechwriting, press, and digital. And so digital, we do all of the social media, all of the websites, like all of the multimedia stuff. So it's actually just a team of three of us. So it's our digital director, Pearl, our deputy digital director, Edwin, and then me. And so Edwin is our photographer. So he's always like out with the governor photographing him, um, taking videos of him. And then me and Pearl work together a lot on the writing for the accounts and the uploading of content to them. And so we manage three accounts: the governor's account, the first lady's account, and the state of New Jersey account. So when Governor Murphy took office, there were no social media accounts for the governor or for the state. The previous governor had taken his accounts with him, which like you're not really supposed to do. So Pearl and Edwin created the accounts from scratch and then kind of built them up. And one thing that Pearl created was the state of New Jersey Twitter account. And it always had like this little bit of a personality, but it was she didn't have the time to dedicate, like she couldn't dedicate as much time as she wanted to it because she was managing all these other accounts. So then when I came in June 2019, we kind of started having all these conversations about how we could make the state of New Jersey accounts kind of more creative and more relatable and more authentic to New Jersey's identity. Because obviously, as a state, we have a very distinct sort of identity, personality. And then we just kind of like would talk about it, and then we just kind of decided to start doing it. So like the posts started getting progressively weirder. And then there was like a few that really took off that like got our name on the map. The most famous, of course, was last December. Someone tweeted at us like, "Who let New Jersey have a Twitter account?" And we responded, "Your mom," and it got like 500,000 likes. And that's when people really start to pay attention to us. And then after that, that was like it. There was really no turning back. And that's when we started capturing everyone's attention.
Do you have a personal favorite?
Oh, it's really hard. There was one last October that was one of like our first weird ones that I'm pretty proud of, and it was like, imagine pumping your own gas with like all these emojis of people throwing up. Like the idea of pumping your own gas is like so horrific to New Jersey, and that it physically makes you ill. So that one I was really proud of. Of course, your mom is like, it's like the gold standard. Um, so that one will always have a special place in my heart. And then we've had like a lot of interesting ones during the pandemic that I'm proud of, because it's like public health messaging in like a different creative way that connects with people. So we've done like the sheriff of wash your hands, which is like an emoji sheriff, made out of soap. And then like all these ones that were like, um, we did like this whole series of like stay X feet apart, right? So it was like instead of stay 6 feet apart, it was like stay one Bruce Springsteen apart because he's just about 6 feet, or like stay one Bon Jovi apart, or like stay 20 bagels apart. So that was fun. I'm pretty proud of those.
Do you guys come up with that on your own, or is that a?
Yeah, it's mostly me and Pearl. We just our personalities mesh really well. We work really well together. We like just bounce ideas off each other all the time. It's been harder doing it from home. Like when we were in the office, we sat next to each other. So we were like divided by like this flimsy cubicle wall. So we would just kind of like talk over that all day, or I would just go sit in her cube a lot. So it's definitely been a little bit difficult to adjust. I mean, well, now we're in like the 9th month of doing this, so I guess we've adjusted, but um, yeah, we just like we work really well together. We're always bouncing ideas off each other. We're both like Jersey girls. We were both born here, grew up here, have lived here forever. So we like understand the ethos of the state really well, and both love the state. So I think that genuine love for New Jersey really shines through and helps make the account so successful.
And you're both Rutgers alums.
Yes, she also went to Rutgers for a little bit.
You guys ever reminisce?
We
Have shared
do.
experiences?
Yeah, I think she went to Rutgers for a semester or two, but she loves it also.
Any shared professors?
I don't think so. We've actually never compared notes on that.
Okay. How I've got other questions, but I think one of the things I was really interested in is, we're heading into month, as you mentioned, month 9 of the pandemic. I think I left my office on like the 17th of March. What's the difference, when you're talking social media now versus social media a year ago? With the election, with everything, how does that inform what you're doing?
Yeah, well, I think that it's kind of exposed the importance of social media. It's so important with connecting with people and providing people with these real-time, spur of the moment updates. Um, like we've seen our social media channels across the governor, across the first lady, across the state of New Jersey grow rapidly during the last few months because it's been such an unsure time that people really need and depend on and are eager for like information from a reliable source in real time, like on what's happening and what resources are available and what the rules are and what are the best safety tips. So we've definitely have been leaning more heavily on it than we used to in the past. Like I write way more social posts today than I was a year ago at this point. But I know how important it is to people, so it's all worth it to us.
Obviously, running those different accounts, they have to make sure the tones are separate. I assume there would be a big tiff if Governor Murphy responded to Andrew Cuomo with your mom. How do you keep those separate?
Yeah, so like you said, each account has their own tone. So obviously the state of New Jersey embodies like this, sarcastic and bold and weird kind of voice. And then the governor's account really embodies his voice. So it's just kind of like when you work for someone, you kind of learn how they talk. And then he also so the governor really is very funny. Obviously he would never tweet your mom, but he does have a sense of humor, and so he does like doing like funny or like weird posts once in a while. We've done a few memes on his account. He really likes to go like when we can make a joke, he loves to do that. So like a few times on his account, like a few times on NJ.gov, we've like started fights about what state has the best pizza, which is obviously New Jersey. And then like other states have gotten involved. So then like the governor will get involved. And then like he's gone back and forth a few times with governors Cuomo and Lamont about what state has the best pizza. And it's all in good fun, and it reflects his voice. So yeah.
Now, here's a question. I understand if you can't reveal it. Does the governor ever tweet from his own account?
So he reviews and approves everything that goes out on his account. Okay. And then, yeah, sometimes he has ideas and he'll send them to us and we'll work on them with him. But everything that's on his account, he signs off on. So nothing goes out on his account that he doesn't see.
Nice. So you're involved in politics a little bit at Rutgers. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, you're involved in how things on the actual working side of it. And you've done a little bit of campaigning. How do you feel your experiences at Rutgers inform what you're doing now?
Yes, so obviously, like being at Rutgers led me to this. I think that not just in terms of like while I was at Rutgers, I got these internships or jobs, but a lot of what I found most valuable at my time at Rutgers was in such a big, diverse school, it really opens your eyes to so many different experiences and viewpoints. And I think that really shaped my belief in like the importance of public service, and it shaped definitely my views, my political views. On what we can do to make the state and the country and the world a better place for people. So definitely being at Rutgers opened my eyes to that, especially from compared to like where I grew up to then the university community. It was just such a stark difference. It really helped me decide that like this is what I wanted to be involved in.
That's awesome. Are there any specific lessons at Rutgers that you learned that, come into your day to day?
That's a good question. Specific lesson at Rutgers. I don't know. I guess just like the importance of empathy is something that I really learned at Rutgers, and I think that that comes into my everyday work. Just understanding like where people are coming from and what they're going through, and respecting that and trying to help them.
Awesome. I asked you this before, by the way, and I just wanted to get it recorded. Where did Baby Yoda come from on the New Jersey government accounts?
So um, it came from last year when Baby Yoda became a thing. I guess it was like actually just about a year ago, right? So Baby Yoda became a thing, and it was like all over the internet. And so I went into work one morning and I was asking Pearl if she had seen like the Baby Yoda meme yet. And so then we were like looking at it together, and then we were like kind of meditating on, what would be like a good NJ Baby Yoda meme. And then the next day, Pearl came in and she had like been listening to an old song that has a line in it like Luke Skywalking on these haters. And so she heard it and then she thought of Baby Yoda. So then she came in and she like photoshopped Baby Yoda holding New Jersey. And then we posted it with the lyrics Luke Skywalking on these haters, and it just like took off. People loved it. And so then we decided that it should be our profile picture. We changed it to that, and then a few months ago we like tried to change it to something else. We really didn't want to change it to something else because we couldn't think of anything better. But like a lot of people were telling us that we needed to change it, so we changed it, and then there was like enormous backlash. People were so upset that we took Baby Yoda away, so we changed it back. It was up for like less than 15 minutes, the new picture. So we changed it back to Baby Yoda, and then a few weeks ago Pearl designed a new version with like Baby Yoda holding like wearing a Santa hat and holding a Christmas tree, and there's like a menorah and Diwali lights and like all this stuff for the holiday season.
Is that up?
Yes, it's up.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's our new profile picture. It's been up probably only for a week at this point, but that feels like a week ago feels like it was 5 years ago. So
Time dilation in 2020. What's the next big thing for NJGov?
God, I don't know. So much of like our ideas on NJGov just come to us like in real time. Like we really, that's kind of I think why the account does so well, is that it feels authentic, and that's because it is. Like me and Pearl, really, if we have an idea we're passionate about, like we just go with it. Like we don't like we don't really plan things out in advance. We don't like harp on things too long, because then I feel like things get like bogged down, and so we just like to really like live in the moment on that account. So I don't know, it depends. Like tomorrow we could wake up and there could be like a brand new meme on the internet, and then NJGov will put its own spin on it, and that could be the next big thing.
That's awesome. I do like the sunset pictures, by the way. I
Yes,
know
they're
that.
beautiful. New Jerseyans love their sunset pictures.
When
And
did that become a thing?
yeah, so people, since like the account started, people have been tagging us in their photos. And then I guess when the account really took off, we started getting tagged in a lot more. And then I think since we started sharing them a lot more, people post more, right? Since they see that we're sharing them. And then we made a meme about it like a few months ago. Like it's like a photo and it was like nobody. And then it was like New Jerseyans every evening. And it was like a photo of a sunset. And then next to it, a photo of Danny DeVito holding a cell phone. So that one did really well. We were proud of that.
I'm going to ask you a couple of controversial questions.
Okay.
Central Jersey, real or not?
It is definitely real.
Pork roll, Taylor ham.
Taylor ham.
Subs or hoagies?
Subs.
Yes. And Eagles or Giants and Jets?
My family is Giants fans, so I'm gonna have to go with Giants and reluctantly Jets, I guess, since it's North Jersey.
Mets or Yankees?
Yankees.
Okay. We're done with the controversial part. What advice do you have for other young alumni? I mean, you're just graduated 2 years out. What advice do you have for other young alumni and soon to be graduated students?
Oh God, I'm terrible at giving advice. I don't know. I guess I would just say that it's a weird time to be a recent graduate. It's a weird time to be graduating. So to just go with your gut in all situations. And I think that Rutgers prepares you well, not only in an academic sense, but Rutgers prepares you really well for the real world. And I think that those sort of skills will help you get very far. I think that Rutgers grads all do very well for themselves, and I think that everyone should have that sort of confidence in themselves.
What do you have planned for the future? What's next?
Oh God, I don't know. I'm really, really, really happy where I am right now. And the idea of like getting older and having a different job and moving on terrifies me. So I try not to think about it. But I think that my future is in New Jersey.
And how do you plan to stay involved with Rutgers?
Well, I guess through the alumni committee, the young alumni committee. My first year out, I don't think I was very good about that. But now that I have some more time, I can get more involved. I want to do one of those like Rutgers mentoring things. You can do like a mentoring program for like students who are interested in politics and government. So I definitely want to do one of those.
That's awesome. And what's your biggest point of pride as a Scarlet Knight?
Oh, geez. My biggest point of pride. I would say that my biggest point of pride right now definitely has to be how integral Rutgers has been in the fight against coronavirus. With the rapid tests that we developed pretty early on, that was just absolutely remarkable. And I think that state schools in general don't get the credit they deserve. I know Rutgers doesn't get the credit it deserves, and it's such an incredible institution with some of like the smartest people, and I think people are starting to realize that, and that makes me really happy.
Well, Megan, it's been great talking with you. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate the opportunity to have you as a spotlight. And we look forward to the next big meme.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.